In a different part of the pharma market, we've got a ton of focus on these GLP-1s, the new class of weight loss drugs that everybody now is familiar with, that has revolutionized the weight loss industry. Just yesterday, we heard from Novo Nordisk. We had a chance to speak to the CEO, and that company has clearly had an extraordinary run over the last 5 years since these drugs came to market. But a bit of the shine has come off. I mean, I just came back from maternity leave, and the stock has basically been on the way down since I left. You recently published a note, and I think the title is worth sharing. Battle of the Bulge, what we think needs to happen to get Novo back on top. Share with viewers what you think needs to happen.
Yeah, so Novo last year was almost a tale of two halves. First half of the year couldn't do anything wrong. Second half of the year missed earnings results on their key obesity drug Wegovy, and then just before Christmas, disappointing results on the next generation obesity drug, CagriSema. So going into this year, and it was the worst performing stock of all the large cap pharmas, and there was a lot of worry about, was demand slowing for these drugs, and is their pipeline going to be enough to continue the story? And I think yesterday, I think we titled our note on the results a sigh of relief or something along the lines like that, because they gave us some more details on the pipeline that I think give a little more promise to this next generation drug, and the guidance for a midpoint of 20% revenue growth was a message that don't worry about demand, guys, it's still there.
In terms of the demand and how it's splitting, Novo's not the only horse in town. You've got Eli Lilly, you've got several other companies with similar drugs coming to market. How are market dynamics shaking out in terms of market share across these drugs?
Yeah, so right now it's really competitive between Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, and they're duking it out in the United States market. Of course, competitors like Roche, AstraZeneca, there's some smaller biotechs in the U.S. also that are rushing to get these drugs to market. But for the time being, it's still really going to be these two companies. And of course, we'll see what happens with the whole phenomenon of compounding, which is a big thing in the United States as well.
And compounding, expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so essentially, because these drugs are in such high demand and have been in a shortage, there's these off-label producers that have been allowed to make the drugs. Hims is a company that's been in the media quite a bit. And really, it's a fight for the branded companies to produce enough supplies to make the drugs out of shortage to kind of put these guys off of compounding. And that's a narrative that will probably continue to play out over the course of 2025.